Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. So you look in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 9. U'b'kutzerchem et k'tzir atzachem. When you are reaping your harvest, the Torah gives this instruction. Lo techaleh et pa'at sadacha liktzor. Do not totally cut away or literally consume the edge of the field. Veleket kitzircha lo telaket. And the gathering of your gleanings, you shouldn't fully gather. Meaning, this is the special commandment, actually two commandments of pe'ah. Pe'ah means the edge. You have to, whenever you harvest a field, you got to leave an edge of the field for the poor. And leket, the gathering, quote unquote, which means that while you're harvesting, while you're gathering the wheat, putting them into sheaves, if one or two stalks here and there falls, don't go back to pick them up. Leave it for the poor. So imagine what, in biblical times, imagine what a field looked like. After the harvest, it wasn't totally empty, totally clean, totally naked of any whatsoever produce. Rather, there was some stalks here and there, plus there was an edge of the field where the poor can come and gather their share. I have a question for you. We know, and this is something so fundamental and prevalent in the Torah, that the Torah encourages us, instructs us, pushes us all the time to work, to earn our living. In fact, even for example, the Ten Commandments, when the Torah speaks about the day of rest, the Sabbath, first it introduces it by telling us 6 days a week you shall work. The Torah honors, the Torah respects work. But yet, when you see this verse and verses like this verse, which encourage us, instruct us to leave for the poor, to give to the poor, it almost seems confusing. It's like a conflicting message. Here the Torah is telling us, earn your own, and here the Torah is telling us, give, give, give. Is the Torah a welfare state? Does the Torah say you, because you're so successful, because you worked hard, now you have to leave it for the poor who did not perhaps work hard, or for whatever reason, they're in a state that they're in? Here is the perspective. Here is some clarity. When you look in the Talmud actually gives us very interesting details of this commandment, of this law. Namely, the law of leaving the edge of the field. What does it mean to leave the edge of the field? It means you leave it untouched. You do not harvest it. In fact, the original fulfillment of the mitzvah, meaning the true, genuine manner in which to fulfill this commandment, is by leaving it untouched. Let the poor come and by hand rip out, tear out the wheat or the barley or whatever the produce is that they're now eligible to collect. In fact, they're not allowed to bring any sickles or any tools with which to cut, because then they can harm each other. It's free for all, first come, first serve. Now think about it. The Talmud even tells us, what if all the poor that are gathered there to now collect, to do the harvest that belongs to them, that the Torah has allotted to them, what if they say, you know what? We ask you, Mr. Owner of the field, perhaps if you can harvest it, you can cut it all down and divide it equally amongst us. Well, if that's their wish, then it's okay. The Torah says it's okay. However, says the Talmud, what if 9 say, meaning 9 or 99% say, we all vote to have it cut by you and, cut down professionally and divided equally, and one opposes, even one person, that even though typically majority rules, but in this case, he is going to win, because his opinion, says the Talmud, quote, is the true, genuine way to perform this mitzvah. So you see something very inherent here. The Torah is saying, look, you as a successful person, you as a quote-unquote capitalist, you did the right thing. You worked hard. But your blessings don't only come from your hard work. In fact, they come mostly because of the blessings of God. And God wants you. In fact, God has given you an opportunity to help the poor, to provide for those less fortunate. However, focusing now on the poor, you don't get a pass. This is not a welfare state. You have to actually work for it. You don't just come sit there with your hands folded, with your arms folded, and then people are just going to hand deliver to you the food. Oh, no, no, no. You have to go out there. You have to collect it. You have to actually work, feel what it is, get the true feel of what it is to earn your own, to work for your own food, to work for your own nourishment. That is not welfare state. That is saying, look, we have to provide for those less fortunate, but at the same time, they have to provide for themselves to the best of their ability. For whatever it is, their luck is not shining at them, and therefore they may not be successful otherwise. But what they're receiving, they have to earn on some degree, on some level. And that is the true approach, the correct way to do benevolence and kindness, not to turn the other person into a loser that's just taking a handout, not to turn the other person to become a subject of the, quote, welfare state. That is the true approach of the Torah.